Welcome, ladies. I am Jasmine Hughes. I'm Marketing Director and Marketing and Development Director here at Aviatra. We serve women entrepreneurs and women business owners. And as you all know, we do that through coaching, classes, and community building opportunities. And here today, you are one of our classes. Today, we're here to help give you information and insight into how to utilize Canva. And we are lucky enough to have Stacy with Zeal 40, a branding company, here with us today to introduce herself as well as to walk us through that process. And also, Breanna is going to be walking us through Canva and how to really utilize that for our companies and make the most of that so that we can be as efficient and effective as possible without having to look outside all of the time for help with these things. And Stacy, if you'd like to go ahead and share a little bit about Zeal and introduce yourself to our ladies today.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking some time out to attend this webinar. I am Stacy Keonig. I am the co-founder and owner of Zeal 40, the creative agency. We help businesses with their branding and marketing needs. We have graphic design, content development, web development, photography, video services. So really a full service agency. And Breanna and I were just talking about probably, I don't know, it's been probably 6 months, but what would be a good webinar for us to do? We really wanted to partner with Aviatra, and we felt like Canva would be a good one for people who weren't familiar or maybe felt intimidated by it. And Canva, I think, is people are very opinionated on their thoughts about it, but it is a wonderful tool that's pretty simple to use and kind of a do-it-yourself platform for those people who aren't ready to hire a firm to do it for them. So by no means are we the experts of Canva. We just thought it would be nice to walk through a hands-on exercise of how to load your brand into Canva, and then some of the basics of like setting up some templates. We'll show you how we set up our social media post about this event, and hopefully that helps you kind of dig in, and if you don't get enough from this, then we can absolutely talk online. But from here, I'm going to let Breanna, who is she pretty much leads all of the creative at Zeal 40, and she's going to walk through this hands-on webinar.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks, Breanna. I wanted to let everyone know that in the chat, we have a link for everyone. Today, it's a free downloadable opportunity here so that these are a nice, lovely little takeaway from the day. So definitely check that out. And Breanna, take it away. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, everybody. I'm Breanna King. I'm the creative lead and manager at Zeal 40. And like Stacy said, I'm going to walk you guys through how to set up your brand in Canva and how to utilize that. So let me pull up my presentation that goes along with this. I will just say also, this will be doing this live. We'll be loading our brand in there, and you guys can follow along and do that with us. If you have any questions, feel free to add them to the chat, and we'll be looking at that as we go. And Stacy will keep an eye on that, but we won't be taking any questions until the end, just so we don't get derailed. So let me present here.
Breanna, I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host so that you have sharing opportunities in case you did not already.
Perfect. Thank you.
And while you're getting that all set up, I wanted to give you the let the ladies know that although this webinar is a fantastic opportunity to get started and get moving in the right direction with all things, we will also be having a masterclass coming up this year. It's a social media masterclass. So stay tuned for information about that. And so if you find that this is really helpful and you want to take it even further, that's definitely a great opportunity to lean in.
Okay, can everybody see the presentation? Yeah, okay, great.
Yes, looks great.
Okay. So thanks again, everyone, for joining today. I just wanted to kind of touch base on the agenda and what we'll be going through. So first of all, we'll talk about the brand kit and kind of give you an overview on what that is. And then we will be setting up our own brand within Canva. So I'll take you through that step by step and you can follow along. And then I'll just do like a quick overview of Canva's resources. This webinar is for beginners. So assuming that a lot of you haven't spent a ton of time in Canva, so we'll just do a quick overview there. And then we will design with the brand kit that we recently created. So I'll show you how to utilize the brand kit once it's in Canva. And once we've created a design, we will export that. I'll show you how to do that so you can utilize the designs that you create within the program. Okay, so first, the overview. What is a brand kit in Canva? So I'm sure that many of you have a style guide with all of your branding in it, or you at least have your brand elements like a logo and fonts and color palette. A brand kit in Canva is just a space where you upload all of those elements, and it makes it really easy to pull from and create branded content within Canva. Who should be using Canva? So Canva is a great tool for small businesses and beginners. It allows you to create quick, attractive presentations and designs. But it's not ideal for professional designers or those who need advanced tools or unique custom designs, because the program is pretty limited in what you can do with it. So for us as a design agency, we typically don't utilize Canva. We use a lot of Adobe programs, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, those types of programs, because they are much more powerful programs. And just the design tools and customization is endless within there. But we occasionally use Canva because it is a really convenient and intuitive program. And it's great for presentations. I actually created this presentation in Canva. I didn't use one of Canva's templates. I created this from scratch, but I did use my brand kit to create this. So this is a good example of what you can do with your brand kit. We also use Canva sometimes for social media. It's great for that. And it's especially great for social media designs when you're creating templated designs, right? So like, for example, if you are creating anniversary posts for your employees and you want to highlight their anniversary month to month, and maybe you have like 3 to 5 of those you're doing month to month, excuse me, you can upload or create a template within Canva, and you can change that easily month to month to create that anniversary post, right? So you can have the design in there, and then you can just add in that employee's photo and name and information, and replicate the same design quickly and easily. Okay. So why should you add your brand to Canva? There's several reasons why this is effective and beneficial. The main one is, in my opinion, consistency, brand consistency, right? So for a brand to be effective, it has to be consistent across all platforms, all media, all of your marketing collateral. So by consistent, I mean the visuals, the messaging, and the overall tone should be the same throughout all of your marketing pieces, right? And there's several reasons why brand consistency is important. So it's important to establish recognition. Your audience instantly recognizes your brand no matter where they encounter it, or they should, right? If you're doing it correctly. A consistent brand will build trust with your audience. So a unified brand conveys professionalism and reliability, and it helps customers feel confident in your products and services. A consistent brand helps you differentiate your business. So a clear, consistent identity sets you apart in a crowded marketplace. It makes it easier for customers to remember and choose you over competitors. And this is especially important if you're designing within Canva, right? Because Canva has so many templated designs that you can utilize, which is what makes it a great program. But if you're not adding your own brand to those templated designs, then there are millions of other people out there using those same designs. And if your audience sees different businesses using the same designs as you are, it's going to be very confusing for them. And lastly, a consistent brand will enhance your credibility. So a cohesive brand shows you've invested in your business and you care about delivering a high quality experience, fostering loyalty among your audience. So if you're not investing in your business, your brand, why should other people, right? Also, another good reason is it saves you a lot of time. So once you have your brand kit in Canva, you can utilize those preloaded brand elements and guides so that every time you create something, you're not uploading new assets. And you're not clicking in a million places to go and find the correct text or color. It makes it really easy to pull in your brand elements into whatever you're designing. And not only that, but once you have your brand kit established, Canva will like utilize that to load designs and messages for you. So it'll automate some of the work for you. And overall, all of that together, will enhance your marketing efforts. Okay, so we are almost ready to dive into actually adding our brand kit. What you'll need if you want to follow along with me and do this on your end, you'll need either Canva Pro, Teams, or Enterprise. So unfortunately, the free version of Canva does not allow you to add a brand kit. It allows you to add like 3 colors and that's it. So it's very much worth it to invest in at least Canva Pro so you can add your full brand kit in there. If some of you aren't ready to do that yet, you can do a free trial. So you'll need to have that set up on your end, and then you'll need your brand assets to load. So your logo files, font files, your color codes, and any other brand assets like icons or photography. And you'll want all of that on your desktop. So if you have that in like Google Drive or Dropbox or something, go ahead and download that and get it on your desktop so that you can upload it to Canva. Okay, so I'm going to dive in here. You'll see this is where I designed the presentation in Canva. I'm going to hop over to this tab. Can you guys still see this in this new tab?
Yes, we can. Looks great.
Cool. Okay. So this is just Canva's. I know I'm in the brand here. Let's go home. Okay, this is Canva's home screen. And where we're going to go is on this sidebar here. We're going to go to the brand tab. And this is where we'll add our brand kit. So move this bar over. Okay. Okay. So we already have ours in here. I'm going to show you how we loaded all of ours in here, but you're going to want to go over here to add new. And you can name your brand kit, and then you'll create that. And that'll open a window like this. So we're going to just start from the top here and add in logos. So if you're following along, what you'll want to do is go here and add a new logo. You'll see we've already got a lot of ours in here, but I'll show you how we did that. So you can either go here, add new, upload logos. If you already have some of your logos in Canva, like in their own folder in Canva, you can link that folder here. But assuming most people today are following along, starting from scratch, we're going to upload. And you can either upload here, or if you have everything in Finder, you can come over here and you can drag and drop. So I'll show you both ways. So to add new this way, we'll upload logos. This will open Finder for me. And I have everything in one spot. So for today, I have everything in this Zeal 40 brand folder. And where I'm going to go is to my digital logo, my primary, and you can see I have all of my primary logo files in here. It does not, Canva doesn't allow you to upload every type of file type, but it will allow you to upload JPEGs, PNGs, and SVGs, and that's really all you need. And the difference between these, so a JPEG and a PNG are both raster images, which means they're built from pixels. And a JPEG, JPEG or PNG are going to be what you're going to want to use most of the time. I would recommend PNG over JPEG just because a PNG has the capability for a transparent background, which you can see here. There's no white in the background, so we can add this on top of different backgrounds, or put patterns in the background if we want to do that, which is really nice. With the JPEG, you'll see this one does have a white background. So, you won't be able to see any other background behind that but the white.
Breanna,
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know that I at least I can't. I don't know that anybody else can. We can't see. It basically is just graying out Canva, so we can't see what you're choosing.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was like pulling stuff up. Okay. Okay, I'll show you guys that in a second then. So you can't see the Finder right here?
No, and we find, that add new, and it gives you the add guidelines, upload image, and link a find it, right? Like those, the drop down box is there.
Okay, so what you'll want to do is upload image, and then you'll want to select your logo file. And maybe it would be easier. Could you see when I pulled this over? Can you see my Finder?
No.
No.
You can only see the specific screen that you've selected to share. So
okay, let me see if I can
stop sharing and share the Finder. That might work.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can share a window, or a screen, not a window. Let me see here.
Breanna, are we doing something beyond uploading the logos, right? So like that seems a little bit self-explained, right? You like just find that option and download it, and then it becomes a list under assets.
Yeah, so we're going to upload the colors, we're going to upload fonts, we're going to upload everything for the brand kit.
Great.
Yep. Okay, I'll just show you my Finder real quick. So can you see this, the
Yes, we
Finder?
can.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I have everything in one spot, so I can easily pull from that today. What I was doing was I was going to my logo folder and I was looking at my logo files and I was going to import all of these, right? So what you're looking for, if from your logo files, you want a JPEG, a PNG, or an SVG. And an SVG is, it's a digital file that is also vector. So it will scale without losing quality, unlike a JPEG or a PNG. And while I have this up, because I'm going to switch back to the browser view, but while I have the Finder up for you guys, I'll show you our style guide here. So this is just a really simple style guide that we have for Zeal 40. These are kind of all of the elements that we'll be uploading into our brand kit today. Okay, let me switch back over. Okay. So once you have all of your logos in here, you'll want to, you'll want to upload any type of logo that you want to use. We have our primary in here. We have our reversed logo, which is good for dark backgrounds, and we have our icon. So we plan on, utilizing all of those things within Canva. Another great thing about the brand kit is if you go to add new, you can add guidelines. So this is really helpful if you're if you have a wider team who's all in here using your brand kit. You can specify when to use certain logos or what to do and what not to do. So if you wanted to say like, use the primary logo first and foremost, never distort the logo or place it on a, I don't know, like a bright green background, right? You can like share instruction like that, save, and then boom, that's up there with all of your logos. And you can do that for each section, which is really nice. So next we're going to add our color palette. And you can see in here, we have two. We have our primary color palette and we have our secondary color palette. You can create as many as you want, which is really nice. Typically you don't need, more than two. Maybe you have a tertiary palette. And the way you do this is if you have your color codes, you can go ahead and add new, and you can type that hex code right in here. You can also add the CMYK if you would rather do that, or if you have that code. And you can also use this little eyedropper. So I won't switch back again, but I showed you our style guide earlier. So I could have my style guide up and I could click here to add a new color, grab this eyedropper, and I could come over, to that style guide and I could just eyedrop all of my colors. So I wouldn't have to type anything down here, which is really convenient. I'm going to delete these. You can also name your colors if you wanted to do that. Primary navy, you can go through and kind of customize that as much as you want to. You can also add in all of your brand fonts. So for us in that style guide, you saw we had 4 different fonts in our brand, and we have all of those uploaded for different purposes here. So if you want to add a font, you go to add new. You can add a text style. You could start with that and just, oh, I guess I've used all of them. Okay. So you would choose which font style you want, right? Like title. And then you can come in and you can either choose from what Canva has to offer. They have tons of fonts in here, and they might have your brand font in here already. So if they do, you can just choose that. If they don't have your brand font, then you can go up here to add new and upload a font, add new, and you can select your font file. So that's a really nice feature that they have. You're not limited to the fonts that they have within the program. You can upload whatever fonts you have in your brand kit. So once we have all of these set up, you'll see we have Verlag condensed for our title. We have commuter sans for our subtitle. For our body, we have Nunito sans, and we have Oh Baby for our quotes. So having all of this filled out will make it really easy to use these when we're designing. You can add your brand voice down here. And this is really effective if you want Canva to automate things for you. So we have something very brief in here. We are women-owned. And our brand voice is creative, informal, but professional and confident, right? But you can add up to like 500 characters and really describe your brand voice in a more detailed way. And this is important because if you want, and I'll show you this later, but if you want Canva to populate messages for you, they have built-in AI now that can do that. And you can choose your brand voice and let it know that that is the tone that you want the messaging to be in, and it will populate that for you. You can also add in your photos. So we just have some of our team headshots here. You can add in your graphics. So we have some textures, a pattern, and a gradient. And these are things that we commonly utilize within our Zeal 40 designs. And you can also add icons at the bottom here.
Breanna, on this particular area, could you provide just a little bit of an example on what you might type into brand voice?
Yeah. So the brand voice should describe the overall tone of your brand. And I'm sure a lot of the people with us today who have small businesses or or are developing a startup have their values, like core values and mission statement. So those are great places to pull your brand voice from, right? It should capture the overall personality of your brand. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're almost done with this section. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So once you have everything uploaded in here, this is your brand kit, right? And you'll be able to access all of these assets when you're actually designing in Canva, which I will show you how to do in just a second. But before we do that, I'm going to go back to this brand kits panel here. There are other things that you can do with your brand, right? So you can build a brand template, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with those anniversary posts for social media. So you can create all sorts of designs in Canva and mark them as brand templates. So they will show up here in this folder, and you can easily access them and alter them for new content moving forward. So that's really convenient. And then you can also set up brand controls. And this is great for if you are working with a broader team within Canva and you want to restrict what they can do so that the brand stays cohesive and consistent, right? So you can specify what colors to use, what fonts that everybody can use, and what tools everybody can use. Okay. So once you have your brand kit set up, we can go ahead and start designing. And I'll show you just a little bit of what Canva has to offer for those of you who have never really used the program. So Canva has all of these templates that you can utilize for marketing purposes, right? So it has all of these templates that you can start from for like social media. It has presentation templates. It has, you just click through here and see, you can build newsletters, websites. You can do a lot within Canva. So this is kind of where you would want to go if you were searching for a template or ideas to create some marketing collateral for yourself. And you can kind of click through all of these on your own and see what each has to offer. But what we're going to do today is we're going to create a social media design. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go create design. And open this, and we are going to be creating just an Instagram design. So I'm going to go over here to social media, and I am going to click Instagram post and choose that. Now Instagram just recently in this month in 2025, they have uploaded or they have altered the specs for their feed posts. So instead of the 1-to-1, now they're doing a 4-to-5 design. And it's not quite, so it's like slowly they're transferring to that. Some of you will still be seeing the 1-to-1, the square posts within your feed, and some of you will see the 4-to-5. So I would suggest when you're designing for Instagram, at least right now, make sure that it's a design that can work in the square format or in the more portrait shaped format. Just because, I'm not sure how Instagram is rolling this out, and you don't want to create a square design and then, have that preview in your feed change and have parts of your design cut off, right?
Breanna, an easy way to do that, or would you suggest leaving some breadth at
Yes,
the
yeah,
top and bottom of your imaging?
definitely. Yeah, make sure that, if you're designing in this format, make sure that, on the bottoms and the top, there's no key content that will be hidden if it's cropped, right? Make sure all of the key components are kind of in the middle here. And Canva does make it really easy to resize your designs, which is a great feature and another reason why it's really helpful for social media. So I'll show you how to do that today, but first we are going to create a design, and we're going to create that in just the 1080 by 1080, the traditional square. So I came up here to resize to change the size of this, and I chose 1080 by 1080, and I'm going to resize this design. It will give me a little preview of how that looks and say, yes, that looks good, resize it. Okay. I can name my design up here. So I'm just going to call this webinar social media post. And the great thing about designing in Canva is that it will automatically save what you do, right? So we don't have to worry about saving as we go. It will back up whatever we create. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here, and over here is kind of where we're gonna pull in all of our elements for the design. You can either start with a a template that Canva already has set up and then apply your brand kit to that, or you can create from scratch. And I'm going to show you kind of both today. So if we just choose one of these, sure, a beginner's guide to minimalism. So I clicked that and it just automatically populated in Canva for me, right? And then I'm going to go down here to my brand tab. And this is where I'll be able to access my brand kit. So these are all of the assets that we just uploaded, right? And if you're having trouble finding that, there's a tab here and you can click there and select your brand. Zeal 40 has already been selected. So I'll just leave it as is, but you'll find that right there. And then one nice thing about having your brand kit in here is you can kind of use that to automatically apply your brand to Canva's designs. So what I can do is I can go here to my primary palette and click shuffle, and it'll automatically apply that color palette that I set to this design. So I can shuffle through and, you know, choose whichever design I like the best, or whichever color palette I like the best. I can use my secondary as well. And then I can go in and start customizing more, right? So like to really make this Canva template look like my brand, I need to go in here and select the font and change that to one of my fonts. So if I come up here and select that font, this side panel opens and I want to click text styles, and you'll see Zeal 40 here. So I know this is my brand kit, and this has all of the font styles that I set up in my kit. So this would be a title, probably, you know, so I would click title and it applies that text over here in the design. Now, obviously it resized it, so we would have to adjust the size here to be much larger to look similar to how it was in there initially. But having your kit loaded over here makes it really easy to update templates like this, right? I can go in here, go back up to the font, and I can choose one of my other fonts that I uploaded. So this could be more like a subtitle. I can adjust that. I can come over here to my brand and I can come down to some of those other elements that we added in, like under graphics, I can pull in our arrow pattern and it automatically fills into the background, and I can adjust that so that it's, you know, not quite so chaotic. And now it's like a nice texture in the background. And already you're saying, you know, this is looking a lot more like Zeal 40's brand than it was initially. So there's a lot of things that you can do to apply your branding to all of Canva's templates. But I'm going to show you how to create something custom in Canva. So we're going to go to File, Create New Design. We're going to do the Instagram post, but again, I want the 1080 by 1080 just for today. Okay, and I'm going to show you how we created the social media posts that we used to announce this webinar today. So let me grab that real quick. Okay. So I just pulled this in from my desktop. This was originally created in Illustrator, in Adobe Illustrator. But we can easily recreate it in Canva. And so to do that, I'm gonna have this up here as an example at the top. but I'm going to add a new page, and this is where we'll replicate that and build our own. So I'm going to start with the title here, and I'm going to use our brand kit to do this, right? So over here on the side, I'm going to come to our brand tab, and I'm going to pull in my heading. So I can just click here on the heading and it'll populate for me. And I'm going to resize that just by pulling the corners here. I can move this around, and Canva has these guides that automatically pop up to show how things are aligned, which is really helpful. So I'm going to put free live webinar in here. Okay. And that's great. That's in, the same font. That's in our brand font. We're going to go up here and change the color and choose text color. And you'll see here, there's the Zeal 40 brand. And these are my color palettes that I've established. So here's the primary and here's the secondary. And I'm just going to choose our primary navy. Just click that and it populates over in the design for me. Now I want free to be a different color, and I want it to be outlined, right? So you would think I could go in here and come up to effects and choose the hollow so that it's outlined. But this outlines everything. So that's one reason why Canva just, for really custom designs is sometimes not the best program to use. Because the customization is limited. So we'll have to work around this in Canva by separating these words out. So I'm just gonna duplicate this. Put free up here. I'm gonna copy and paste. And you can duplicate this either by right-clicking and pressing duplicate, or you can hold Option if you have a Mac and drag. Okay, and now I can style, since these are in different text boxes, I can style them differently. So I'm gonna choose live and webinar, and I'm going to remove that hollow effect and choose none, but I'll keep the hollow effect on free. And I'm going to adjust the thickness of those lines so that they're a little bit thinner to match what I have up here. If I click this and I hold Shift, I can select several things together. So I just held Shift to select live, and now I have both of these objects selected, and I can align everything so that it's centered. I can also just drag my mouse over both of these and they'll be selected. Okay, and I can add a different color to free. Okay, so you kind of get that. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit since I know we're getting close to time today. We want to leave some time for questions. So I can pull in, so I want to pull in these images, right? And utilize, and then I want to remove the backgrounds. And so I have those headshots. We uploaded them into our brand kit. So I can go over to the kit and scroll down, and here are those headshots. So I can click, there's the headshot. If I want to move that to the front, I can right click, layer, bring to front. And Canva has a really fun feature where you can remove the background. Now it's not always perfect, but a lot of times when you have a singular subject on a very plain background, it does a pretty good job. So we'll see how it does with this. So I'll just go up to background remover here and click that. And boom, it did a pretty good job. So it cut Stacy out from her background here, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to resize that so it's a little bit smaller. And you can either just drag to resize, or if you want to resize the container itself, you can hold Shift and resize, and that'll adjust the container and not the image within. Okay. So we have that. And we want to add our logo in there at the top, right? So that's another thing that we have in our brand. So we can go over here, scroll to the top in our brand kit, and we can pull in our logos. So I'm going to click See All. So these are all the logos we have in there. And I want this Zeal 40 icon. I just clicked it and it came over into our design, and I can resize it and drag it up here. So it's in the spot that we want it to be in. I'm going to show you. So maybe we didn't have the messaging in here already, right? Maybe we kind of know what we want this to say, but we don't have any text yet. And so that is a situation where it would be good to use your brand voice, right? So if you go to your brand and scroll down to your brand voice, it has the option to generate in this brand voice. You can click that and describe what you're wanting to write. So we'll say, create a header for a social media post about a free webinar, and then generate. And that will generate something using the brand voice that we created. So it says, unlock your potential, join our free webinar. That's pretty good. You can tell it more like this and get additional options, or this, but you can give it instructions to get more branded content. But if you're happy with that, then you can click insert, and boom, it's created some text for you. Other things we can do with our brand kit over here, we can pull in some of our graphics. So if we wanted to pull in this pattern here, I have it in the background up here of this teal. So to kind of replicate that, I can come over to elements. And this is where you'll find like shapes, graphics, lines, things like that to enhance your design. I'm going to pull in a shape, and look, it's already populated in my brand color. So that's another great thing about having your brand kit loaded in Canva, is that you can pull in elements and it will automatically apply your branding to the elements. Now we want this to be this teal color to match up here. And I'm going to rotate it to kind of replicate that angle and move it around. And there we go. That's pretty close. And then I want this arrow pattern on top. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to layer, bring to the front, and then I am going to put this on an angle as well. There's this little rotate button down here that I can use to match up to this angle. And then I can adjust the transparency. I can also double click inside of here to adjust the pattern itself. So I can rotate that and make it larger, and it stays within this container, which is a really nice feature. So as you can see, like, if we didn't have our brand kit in here, this would have been a lot more time consuming to get our branded design going. Because for us, with all of the fonts that we use, we actually did have to upload our own fonts. So if we didn't do that, we would have to go into Canva's fonts and just try to match the best we could. That's time consuming. You know, we would have to go and just find our logo files each time we want to add our logo here and drag those over or upload them again. Having the brand kit in here makes it so easy just to drag and drop your brand elements into Canva. Okay, so it's 10:51. I'm going to stop there. And if anybody has any questions, we can address that.
Breanna, while we wait for people to muster the courage to ask questions, could you actually share your screen again and just show us that show layers feature? I really loved how you were able to show how to utilize the transparency option and the bringing the images and the text to the front or the back, but it's interesting to see how it looks if you can look at all the layers all at once and move them around from there. I think that'd be something interesting for people to see as well.
So I'm sorry, which?
Sure. So when you when you right click on an image and it gives you the options to go to the layer, and then there's the
Oh,
show layers section. Like I think
yes.
that's an interesting spot to really give our viewers a concept of how you can see everything at once and where they're layered within your image.
Yes, yeah, that's great. So yeah, so this allows you to see everything within your design, right? So you can see all of your components over here and you can move them around. So right now, you know, Stacy's photo is behind this graphic and we want her to be in front of it. So you can see that graphic here, Stacy down here, and you can just drag to reorder that. And now she's in front. So that's a really convenient feature to rearrange and reorder everything within your designs.
That also gives you access to something that's in the background if it's difficult to now it's in the background, you've got a bunch of stuff on top of it and you can't quite reach it with your mouse. This feature will give you access to that as well.
Yes. Also, while we're waiting, and yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there's another. I was gonna say there's a question to demonstrate. Oh, yes, Stacy suggested to demonstrate the eyedropper.
For if your
Color.
colors.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, you know, like my style guide, but I can just show you how to kind of use that.
Even if you were, yeah.
Did you mean in here or in the brand kit?
In the brand kit, if you're trying to load
Okay.
your colors, but you have the codes or can't find them, how to use the eyedropper
Yeah,
tool.
yeah. So I'll go back to the brand kit. So for the color palette, if you wanted to use an eyedropper, if you don't have your color codes, you can click Add New, pick a color, and you can just move this around and select a color on your screen. And so I'll just select like over here. Maybe I like this purple that Canva's using. Select that, and it'll add that purple right in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see when I resize. I feel like you can't, right? See when I resize this, but I can resize my browser and do that same thing. Grab the eyedropper, and I can come outside of my browser, and I have my style guide up in the background here, which unfortunately you can't see, but I can just pull directly from my style guide that I have open in Acrobat. So it's a really quick and easy way to load your colors in here.
Yeah, and it's helpful to just see even the eyedropper in use. So thank you so much.
Okay, yeah,
Good
no
suggestions.
problem. Another thing that is great about the brand kit is like, say, you know, we have this Zeal 40 arrow pattern applied to a lot of designs. And what if we change this pattern? And, you know, are we going to have to replace this pattern in all of the designs we created? Not if you have a brand kit set up. You can go in here and choose those 3 dots, and you can go replace across designs. So if I do that, this will open. Can you see this pop-up box that opened?
Yes.
Okay, good. So here are all of the designs where I have used that arrow pattern. And I can click and say, yes, in this design and in this design, I want to change that arrow pattern. And so I can say continue, choose file. I'll choose a new, I'll just choose a new pattern real quick. I'm just going to put our gradient in here as an example. So, oh, it wants something with a different aspect ratio. Okay, fine.
As we're coming up
Oh.
on time, Breanna, is there, I mean, I know that the brand kit is really, really helpful and it makes things so easy, but what kinds of workarounds are there if you're not using the, using that? I mean, is it just really just uploading, just putting that in your upload section and having your logos in the upload and having, um, maybe your, and just having your frequently used picture or your, frequently used pictures or things like that. Just, could you just keep it in your upload section if you weren't going to pay for a paid version for to have the style brand kit?
Yes, yeah. So, sorry that example didn't work here, but you can change out these components, right? If you don't want to change, or if you don't want to pay for Canva Pro, you can still add in all of your logo files and your photos and graphics and icons, and you can just have them in their own folder. So you'll still be able to access them. You just won't be able to access them from the brand kit tab as you're designing. And Canva won't be able to populate designs with your brand kit. So it'll be, a little bit more work on the back end for you, but you can still upload, like I said, your logos and those other design files into Canva.
Thank you so much, Breanna. And I hate to wrap us up right at the 2 minute still, but everyone will get a recording of this if you signed up. And whether you signed up or all registered for this thing, you'll actually get the recording sent straight to you, and we'll send that out to you right away. And we just want to thank everybody for coming today. And we're going to wrap this up so that everybody can get back to their day. And we're just so grateful for Breanna and Stacy. Thank you so much, Zeal 40, for all of your help with this. And we'll absolutely include your guys' contact information so that if they have questions or want to utilize your services in the future, that they'll be able to do that.
Absolutely. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thanks,
You guys
everyone.
have a great day and make it a fabulous Wednesday.
Mhm.